The year is 2021, and you are in need of copyright-free music. I mean, why wouldn't you be? You're a creator like me. But if you're really like me, you have a fairly strict budget when it comes to video creation, and while copyright-free music is important, it can also be very expensive, and there's all sorts of options and you're getting completely overwhelmed and everything's just going crazy in your mind right now and you just want somebody to tell you which one is best. I'm not going to do that. But before you click off of this video, let me explain how this is going to work. Everyone needs different things from their music provider, so I went and picked the top 4, at least in my experience, most prominent music providers, and I'm going to break them down into 3 different scores. The first being pricing, second being the flexibility of their licensing, which might sound a bit complicated, but I'll explain in a minute, and the third being, of course, their actual quantity and quality of their music. I'm going to rate all of these scores out of 10, and this way you can decide which service is actually best for you. The 4 services that I will be breaking down are Epidemic Sound, Artlist, Soundstripe, and Synchedin. Now I want to make this abundantly clear that I do have a partnership with Artlist, but as with all my reviews, I like to think I have somewhat of a moral compass left, so you have my absolute word that I will not try to sell you on one service versus the other. That would completely undermine my credibility, and there's actually no point in doing that. That being said, I do have a link down below. If you decide that you want to get Artlist, you can get 2 free months through that link. So I'm looking out for you, and you would look out for me by clicking through that link. Anyway, let's get on to the services. Let's start off with Epidemic Sound because it seems to be the most prominent here on YouTube. And for good reason, it's good for YouTubers. For pricing, they have a monthly personal subscription of $15, which covers us YouTubers. But if you want the commercial license, like if you're a professional filmmaker making ads or wedding films, something like that, then it's going to be $300 a year. I'll give Epidemic a 7 out of 10 in this category because their monthly subscription model is nice, and their $300 a year for commercial purposes matches their biggest competitor in Artlist. Moving on to the license flexibility. This is basically how I'm referring to how many places and times you can use whatever service's music. Epidemic's personal subscription covers YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and podcasts. But you can only register 1 account on each platform, which means if you're a YouTuber like me and you have multiple channels like me, you need to have more than 1 subscription, which is definitely a bummer. The way that Epidemic works is that if you upload a video with their music while you have an active subscription, that video is covered, it's cleared of ads forever. But if you let your subscription on Epidemic run out, you can't post any new videos with the music that you downloaded while you have an active subscription. Those will get claimed. So you can really only make videos with their music while you have a subscription. I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10 in this category because with the personal subscription, you can't really make anything outside of your 1 channel or 1 account that you had linked to your Epidemic Sound account. And it also doesn't feel like you have much protection from false claims, etc. should, God forbid, the company go under or anything like that, because you don't have like in paper or at least in digital legal license for the music. It's more of a subscription service, like Spotify. Quickly, let's touch on Epidemic's music quality and quantity. The quality is awesome. It's really good. Their sound effects are really good. The music is very well made, and they have a lot of flexibility with their stem systems, which if you do more research into Epidemic Sound or you watch my video about it, you can learn more what their stem system is. They also have the highest number of tracks at 32,000 songs and 60,000 sound effects. That's pretty crazy. 10 out of 10 for sure. On to Artlist. Artlist is $200 a year with an extra $100 charge if you want sound effects as well. They do not have a monthly payment option, which seems like it's kind of a bummer. Like you don't really know what you're getting into until you pay the full $300 or $200. And that is upsetting to a lot of people, and it's a valid point. But let me explain why it's set up like this. Their payment system is set up like this because of the way that their licensing system works, which I believe is the best licensing system out of all of the other ones that I review in this video. This is not biased at all. Let me explain why. When you download a song from Artlist, you have that song forever to put in any video you want for as long as you would like. I'm sure subject to their terms of use, etc. But basically what this means is if I download a song right now with my active subscription and then I let that subscription end, I can still use the song that I just downloaded in future videos even when I don't have a subscription. That song is mine to use forever. which is really awesome. Really cool. So the reason that they don't let you pay monthly is because if you could pay monthly, you could pay $15 and download all of their entire library and then have their entire library just on your computer ready to go for forever for $15. Like that's not very fair, and they kind of have it set up like this to guard against that sort of an exploit. Now, because of the way that they have their licensing system set up, you can use those songs for any video that you want, whether it's a wedding video, a professional ad. As long as you're the one producing that video, you can use it. You can use it for multiple channels as long as you own all the channels. Like, this is the most flexible option as far as music licensing goes. You're also legally protected in case of, like, well, disaster, right? Because they have a PDF system where you just download your license to use the music, and you can keep that on your computer in case you get any false claims. There is literally a legal document stating your right to use this music, which is really, really nice, I guess, protection against any of the crazy stuff that can happen online. Taking all of this into consideration, I'm gonna give Artlist a 7 out of 10 in pricing. Because while they've got kind of a rigid system and you have to pay yearly and you don't have the option for monthly, you get so much in return and so much flexibility in return that it's totally worth it. And as far as money goes, you could buy a 1-year subscription to Artlist, download all the songs you like, and never have to subscribe again because you've already got all the songs that you like. So really, you could pay $300 or $200, whatever you want, for those songs that you're going to use for the rest of your life. So in the long run, it could even turn out to be cheaper than something like Epidemic Sound, which you have to pay monthly for. Artlist also gets a 10 out of 10 in licensing flexibility. That's pretty obvious. As for the quality and quantity of Artlist's music and sound effects, it's amazing. It's really good. Just like Epidemic Sound, it's at least as good as Epidemic Sound. They do have a bit of a different vibe to them. Artlist seems a little bit more kind of professional, whereas Epidemic seems a little bit more YouTube-y, you know? So it's totally about what your style is, but Artlist does only have a little over 12,000 songs, which is less than half of Epidemic's library of songs, so you are getting less bang for your buck, pure quantity-wise. Once you're up into the 10 plus thousands, though, it really hasn't seemed to make a difference, at least to me. I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10 as far as quality and quantity of their music. Moving on to Soundstripe. The price of this service is $13 a month if you want just the music, but if you want sound effects added in, it's gonna be $21 a month. By my rankings, this gives them a 6 out of 10 as far as pricing goes, because they do have a cheaper option if you just want the music, but if you want sound effects added in as well, it's gonna be more than Epidemic Sound. At least if you're just a YouTuber and you're not using it for commercial reasons. Speaking of that license, how flexible is it with Soundstripe? You get full universal licensing, which means commercials, ads, wedding videos, all that stuff, you're covered. Multiple channels, covered. But from my research, it seems like their system is a little bit clunky. Now, as a disclaimer, I've never personally used Soundstripe, so I don't know for sure that this is true, but it seems like whenever you download a new song from Soundstripe, you need to fill out a license form, which, if you were a professional videographer, isn't that big of a deal. But if you're a YouTuber making a video multiple times a week, if not every day, it can really mess up your editing flow. I would not be able to do that. Because every time that you log in and you download a song, you're gonna need to fill out this form with information about the video you're using it for. And that means if you download a song and you wanna use that same song in a video down the road, you have to go generate a new license for that new video, even though you downloaded that song before. Like, it just seems, like I said, it's really clunky. It would kill my editing flow, and it would be a big pain to deal with every single time that I try to download a song. And because of the system and the way that everything works, you do need to have an active subscription to Soundstripe whenever you download a song and put it in one of your videos or projects. In my opinion, this gets them a measly 3 out of 10 as far as license flexibility goes. Now for the music, it sounds good. The music and sound effects, they're good. But there are only 4,000 songs on Soundstripe, which sounds like a lot, but then again, you're looking at a third of Artlist, which is half of Epidemic Sound itself. So when it comes right down to it, not many songs are on Soundstripe. But they do have 30,000 sound effects, which is a lot. So, you know, I'll give them a 5 out of 10 here. Finally, Synchedin. I had never heard about this service, but some people in the comments were talking about it, so I figured I would look into it. This is the budget option at $6 a month, so I guess it gets a 9 out of 10 because it's not free, but it's super cheap. The music licensing is pretty much completely unlimited, which means multiple channels, multiple videos, commercial videos, all that kind of stuff. You get the gist of it by now. And from what I read, it seems like you can use their music even after your subscription has lapsed. So I give it a 8 out of 10. Do take some of this stuff with a grain of salt though, because I tried to do more research on this place, but there just isn't a whole lot of information out there. I think it's a really new service and it's not super big, so there just wasn't a whole lot for me to find out. So, like I always say, large dose of salt. Now, Synchedin seems great up to this point, but the actual music is where we find the rub. After lots of looking, I still have absolutely no idea how many songs are actually on the platform. But they have no sound effects whatsoever. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the actual music quality is not that good, which makes sense because it's so cheap compared to the other ones. I guess I was hoping for a little bit more. In my opinion, Synchedin is good if you're a new YouTuber, you got a super tight budget, but you're also worried about getting any sort of copyright strikes and running into any of those problems that might come with looking for copyright-free music on YouTube or SoundCloud. Although, in my opinion, I would just suggest risking it and going for the better music that you can find on SoundCloud. That being said, 2 out of 10 in actual music quality and quantity for Synchedin. So there you have it. Here are the final scores for each service. Personally, I use Artlist, and I love Artlist, but that might not be the right choice for you, and that's okay. Let me know down below if you decided on what service you want to use, and if this video helped you out in any way, I would also appreciate a like button, maybe even a subscribe button if you want to see my beautiful face again. Nah, I'm just kidding. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.